Hello, I am Meshell Baker, the Chief Confidence Igniter, and this week's Mondays with Meshell's topic is the paradox of disrespect. Now, paradox means that there's a contradictory term or understanding. And I want you to think about disrespect like this. Disrespect has to be taken, it cannot be given. So disrespect is when someone intentionally sets out to verbally assail another person, verbally hurt or be harmful to another person. In order for that to have the impact of disrespect, that person, the other party, must decide that they feel disrespect, that the words have impacted them in a disrespectful way or manner. Again, I am Meshell Baker, the Chief Confidence Igniter. My challenge to you in this paradox is that words do not have an impact unless you decide they are meaningful. So what I'm saying is you must decide that you have been disrespected. Now, I challenge you to think instead that the person who is speaking those words that are not kind, that are other than kind, compassionate, thoughtful, affirming, encouraging, empowering, they are using negative words, that something is wrong with them, not you. That's truly when a person is confident, when they have mastered their emotions, that person no longer internalize another person's negative behavior. You see, when people are being disrespectful, they are seeking to assert control. They're looking to create fear in another party. And people who suffer from imposter syndrome are culprits of this. One of the things that you know to be true, you can almost immediately tell when someone's confident and when someone's not confident. Now, a person who is not confident or suffering from imposter syndrome, they generally cannot necessarily tell immediately because that party is feeling so insecure, so inadequate. And the person who is being disrespectful is the similar of that of a bully. And what will happen is those feelings will be interpreted as this person has intentionally done something hurtful or said something harmful. And what I challenge you to do is to instead recognize it's them. They also want to guard their territory. It's a mask of insecurity. Of all the words that we can use on the planet, why would someone intentionally set out to speak hurtful, harmful, demeaning words to another person? There are so many more ways to communicate confidently, to communicate collaboratively. When you are a leader, so understand that in a recent study, 78% of business leaders have affirmed that at some point in their career, they felt like an imposter. So that meant they felt inadequate, they felt insecure, they felt uncomfortable. So when that feeling happens, they are interpreting situations as wrong or right. They're judging things. They are looking for safety and will lash out at other people. Now, if you're someone who has worked under someone who was going through these feelings and these emotions and this imposter, you may have been met what seemed to be disrespectful. Again, it is inadequacy on the other person speaking such words. I challenge you to live and step outside of this paradox and discontinuing using this term that you have been disrespected. Nobody has the ability to make you feel anything less than amazing unless you give them permission. You cannot be disrespected unless you decide you are, thereby deciding that you are interpreting that you are less than. I dare you to decide that they are less than, that those words that they're saying. I'm going to give you quick 3 things so we can move forward on this. De-stress and breathe. When you start to feel in your body, when you start to interpret and hear someone speaking those words, taking deep breaths and slowing yourself. Now, it can, maybe you might not have time during that. And when you are reviewing it, because what generally will happen when people go back and do that review, the replay in the mind, it festers and starts to feel worse. And then they get on the phone or get with another person and start talking about how dare they disrespect me. I challenge you to debrief and de-escalate and de-stress and breathe and recognize again, something is wrong with them. Two, do not assume negative intent. Remember, if that person is struggling, if they're having an imposter moment, if they're in fear of loss of their job, if they have had a bad day, they could have had the worst news ever in their life. Many people interpret someone's behavior as something is wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. The other person is struggling and is ill-equipped at that moment to have a human conversation. Because if they were equipped, you would not have been met with what you were met with, that is seemingly disrespect. And the third thing is, flip the switch on your emotional intelligence, your emotional mastery. When you feel disrespected by another person, they have just flipped your switch and triggered you. Whenever you allow another human being to trigger you, they are the master of your emotions. They are pushing a button inside of you, dictating and having you decide that you feel bad. Master your emotions and stop allowing people to have you feel bad about you. Do the work on yourself. Do the affirmations. Do the meditations. Do the visualizations. Do the gratitude work. Do whatever it takes so that you are standing in your stance of amazing, of awesome, of confident, of resilient, of empowered, of encouraged, and not allow another individual to dictate and declare you be anything less than. Affirm, stand there and give it back to them. Ask them questions like, oh, are you okay? Are you having a difficult day? Because what you said was not anything that was professional, or I'm not used to you speaking to me in that way. So I'm assuming you must be going through a challenging time or a challenging situation. Stand confidently. If you can't say it immediately, go back and practice in the next time, because there will always be someone who will step up in your face and attempt to disrespect you. The sooner you can recognize that it's not given, it is received, and stop receiving it, your life will become amazing. This has been Meshell Baker, the Chief Confidence Igniter, transformational keynote speaker, and confident living catalyst. I look forward to seeing you next week.